In this video, we will see what is recursion. So recursion, a function that calls itself is known as recursive function, and this technique is known as recursion. So what happens is you can see in this example, in the int main function calls the sum function, and this control is transferred to this sum function. Now, this sum function, inside this sum function, you have a sum function calling again. So, this function is again going to call itself. Again, you will come inside. Again, it is going to call this function again. Again, you are going to come inside, and again, it is going to call itself. Alright. So a function that calls itself is known as recursive function. So here the sum function is your recursive function, and this technique of calling itself repeatedly is known as recursion. So this you can easily see that if a function calls itself repeatedly, then it will form infinite times it is going to get executed. So there should be some condition to stop this calling. Alright. So either we use some if else condition, alright, which we will see further, or anything else according to the application to stop this infinite calling of the function. In this example code, you can see what we want to perform is we want to perform addition of first five, first n natural numbers. Alright, we want to perform addition of first n natural numbers. So suppose if value of n is 5, so what we want to perform the sum of first 5 natural numbers, that is 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5. This is what we want to give the output. So how will this code is going to run? So here in the recursion, we see in the main function, suppose this is your stack memory. Alright, this is your stack memory. So in the main function we are, for main function a space is created in your stack memory. So we execute the first line, line number 1, that is executed. Suppose we have variables n and sum. Okay, we have variables n and sum. Then printf enter a positive integer. Second line is also executed. Suppose third line is also executed. That is scanf n value. Suppose user enters value of n, that is 5. When the execution of fourth line, okay, add n. So what will be add 5? This function add function is called with the value 5. Alright. So now from 4, the control is getting transferred to this function. You can see here this is function calling. The main function in the fourth line of execution, it calls the add function. Alright. So now the control has been transferred to the add function. Okay. Now we will execute add function. Alright. From fourth, we call the function, that is your add. Alright. With value 5. Right. Add 5 called by main function. Now the control is here. Now line number 1 of add function is going to be executed. What is there in the line number 1? If a not equal to 0, alright, you a, what is a? A value you got here 5. Is 5 not equal to 0? Condition is true, isn't it? Your condition is true. If it is true, then we are going to execute the if body, whatever is inside the if body. So what is there inside the if body? Return a plus add a minus 1. So A is what? What is the value of A? A that we got here, that is your 5. Alright, A is your 5 plus add A minus 1, that is 5 minus 1. So in the line number 2 of add function, when you are executing line number 2, what is there? 5 plus add 5 minus 1 is your 4. This is what you are going to call now. You can see this add function is calling, add 5 is calling add 4. Alright, so this add function is calling itself. So here is recursion. Till now you can see in the main function we have not executed line number 5 and 6 that was present over here. Okay, we are now in line number 4. From line number 4 control was transferred to add 5, and in the add 5 we have executed only line number 1 and line number 2. Alright, from line number 2 we are again calling, this is your function call. Okay, this function, that is add 4, is called. So what will happen? A new memory will be created for add 4. Alright. So this add 5 is calling your add 4. Okay. So again in the add 4 what will happen? Again the same thing is going to be executed. What is that is going to be executed? See, now a value is 4. When we are executing this function add 4, a value is 4. Now again we are going to execute line number 1. What is if a not equal to 0, 4 not equal to 0? Condition is true. If true, we are going to execute if body. What is if body? Return a. What is a? 4. 4 plus add 4 minus 1. Alright. So line number 1 is executed. In the line number 2, you are calling 4 plus add 4 minus 1 is your 3. Alright. So now this add 4 is calling the function add 3. So now from here the control is transferred to add function 3. Alright. Now see, the line 3 and 4 is not getting executed because it is if else. So either if part will be executed or else part will be executed. So I'm not writing here 3 and 4. Okay. So now what happens when you are calling add 3? You see. Now when you call add 3, what happens? A value is your 3 here. Okay. When a value is 3, check if 3 not equal to 0. Condition is your true. When it is true, return a 3 plus add 3 minus 1. Alright. So what it is going to be called? 3 plus add 3 minus 1 is your 2. So now you can see that your 3 is calling your add 2. This add 3 is calling your add 2. Okay. So now where the control is getting transferred to add 2. Okay. Now you can see here, unless and until this is completed, this will not be completed. That is, unless and until your add 3 has completed its execution, add 4 will not be completing its execution. Alright. Unless until add 4 has completed, add 5 is not going to get completed. Okay. Why add 5 is not going to get completed? Because it is calling another function add 4. Alright. And unless until we get this value, how we are going to proceed for other statements 3 and 4? We cannot proceed to other statements. That is why first your above functions will be getting executed. That is add 2. Let's see. Now what happens? The same thing, A will be your 2. So what will happen? 2 plus add 1. Alright. Now this add 1 will be called. Now what is there in add 1? If you call add 1, what is there? 1, is 1 not equal to 0? Yes, the condition is your true. So we are going to enter 1 plus add 1 minus 1, that is your 0. Now add 0 is going to be called. There is no space, so I am writing function over here. Alright, add 0. Line number 1 is what? Is 0 not equal to 0? Condition is your false. Alright, this condition is false. So if it is false, we are not going to execute this statement 2. We will come to the else part. Alright, this statement is executed. This is not going to be executed. In the else part, what is there? Return A. What is A over here? 0. A is 0. So fourth line is also executed, and this add 0 is going to return the value 0. To whom it is going to return? To here. Alright. To add 1, it is, sorry, not here. Just minus C. Now what happens is, this 0 is going to be returned. Who called add 0? Add 1 called add 0, right? So this 0 will be returned over here. Now what happens? If add 1 was in line number 2, it performed in the line number 2, what was there? 1 plus what add 0 returned? 0 value. So 1 plus 0 is your 0. So this return is going to return back, and the remaining lines will not be executed. Alright, this function is going to return from here itself. So what is the value it is going to return? 0. So where this 0 will be returned? Add 0. Now this add 1 is going to add 1 plus 0, that is 1. So who called add 1? Add 2. Add 2 has called add 1. So what was the value that will be returned by add 1? 1 is your 1. Alright, so this 1 is going to be returned to add 1. Alright, because add 2 has called add 1 has completed its execution and it returns the value 1 over here. Alright, so this 1 is received by function add 2. Alright, and these memories are released. Alright, these memories are your released. The function is completed, so the memory is released. So 2 plus 1 is your 3. So add 2 was called off from here. Alright, so this function returns the value 3 after its execution. Now 3 plus 3 is your 6. Alright, this is your 6 and 6 is returned. Who called? Add 3 was called from add 4. So here you got the value 6. Okay. So these have completed its execution. So they will release their space. Alright. So this is what your values are returned. Okay. So add 4. Now add 4 got the value of add 3, 6. Now 6 plus 4 is your 10. Now add 4 will return value 10. To whom? From where it was called. So it was called from here, it is going to return value 10. 10 plus 5 is 15. So add 5 was called by main function. So it will return to the main function the value 15. So what does this function after execution? Here 15 is returned to sum. Alright, so sum gets the value 15. Now, what happens? The remaining statements of main function will be executed. This one is executed successfully. 4 now. Now the remaining statement 5, printf sum is equal to sum will be printed. Now line number 5 will be executed, that is sum is equal to 15 is printed on the screen, and then line number 6 is executed where you return the value 0 in the main function. So this is how the recursion works. So successfully we have performed the addition operation of first n natural numbers using Recursion.